All right, a beautiful Charlotte day. Charlotte in the fall, can't beat it. Unbelievable, great environment for us to get outside, enjoy each other's company, keep pushing our football forward. A really focused group, returning back to the field. Guys working on their communication, talking to each other, working on the chemistry and timing of what we're doing, and just an excellent day for us to get out there.
We saw Bryce get to work on the side. Did you get much of a chance to see him, and what was the report from the trainers afterwards?
I saw a little bit of it, did more than he did yesterday, so that's good. That's our plan right now, is each day try to push him a little bit more, see if we can get him out there in a different capacity. Wasn't able to practice today, but was working on the side, was able to do some movement stuff, and we'll just take it day to day and make the best decision.
So he's officially day to day still?
Yes.
And not prepared to declare Andy Dalton the starter on Sunday?
Not right now, yes. But Andy did take all the reps today with the group, and Hendon Hooker and Mike White are here. We're first day to get to look at Mike in person to see him throw. He did a great job, Hendon handled most of the scout reps there. But the whole group, they're all just pulling for Bryce, and Bryce as well. He's pushing and he's trying and he's determined to try to make himself available for Sunday. But we have to take it day to day, and we got to make a decision when it comes down to it.
Is there anything specific that you're looking for on the ankle? Is it cutting? Is it planting? Is it driving off to throw?
All of that, right? All of that. Everything that's required to play the game the right way. You can make certain modifications, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to just play ball. So we want to make sure that he's able to do that, and we'll keep evaluating him each day.
Dave, you said on Monday y'all were going to look at different quarterbacks. What about Mike stuck out, and what do you like having him here?
My experience and history of just watching him, just really fluid throwing motion. A guy that's got experience, has played some pretty important games over the course of his career. So the experience is a great thing. Heard a lot of great stuff about him. His reputation, preceded him coming this way, and he was interested in coming and being here in case we get to a situation where we might need him long term. And so just good to be able to get my eyes on him for the first time. And also he's got a little Bills background too. So, just trying to compete in any which way we can.
I was going to say, besides all the physical stuff, how much of a benefit can that be? I mean, he was just there last year. What, you pick his brain? What do you think?
Yeah, you should try. Our defensive staff, myself included, just talking to him about things he might have seen, here and there. And, there's no, secret code involved here. He's a Panther right now. And so trying to compete, trying to get as much info as we can.
Coach, can you speak to JC and his 2 interceptions on Sunday? The leadership that he's showing after signing the big contract?
Yeah, just a really incredible competitor, and the way that JC approaches every game day, and this isn't public knowledge, but he went into the Patriots game, pretty sick, and he had to get some fluids and overcome that part, and I talked to him afterwards, and he played his butt off in that game, and never didn't find out about that until afterwards, and he just kind of said, my dad called me and said, look, nobody cares you're sick. Like, they're going to try to go after you regardless. Like, you got to go out there and play. And he brings that mentality every week to challenge everything. He wants to be at the point of attack. He wants quarterbacks to try him and to, get him those targets. And he came up with 2 big plays. I think it just speaks to the whole collection of the athlete, the brain, the competitor, and then his ability to track the ball like a receiver. Really incredible catches on both of those to get his eyes around, on the first interception to really accelerate where you could see his top speed, getting in phase and then coming down with the really hard catch, whether you're a corner or a receiver on that one.
As a former wide receiver, how would you rate his one-handed interception?
I try to tell guys 2 hands for beginners. He doesn't have a lot of catches in his pro career, so but anyway, he came up with the catch and secured the ball. That's what we cared about and gave us a chance to put it away in that one.
How better prepared are you talent-wise with the defense and the offense for a guy like Andy to step in and have success than you were a year ago?
I think it's a collective thing. It's about our processes, how we handle the work week. And those rhythms are very familiar to our players now, going into our second year. That part allows us to lay the foundation for fundamental improvement and execution. It's the communication. It's all the carryover on the offensive line as well, guys that know each other and can go in there and function with a different combination of guys there. And we also have a number of young players who are catching up to what we're doing and finding rhythm and timing. But again, it's just, if Andy does have to have full confidence, being able to just call the game the same way I would normally call it and have the balance and be attacking and aggressive in our spots. So he gives us an opportunity to keep pushing our football forward, which I love.
And Dave, does that continuity allow you to maybe wait to make the decision on Bryce a little bit longer than maybe you would have a year ago?
This is just going to be about Bryce's health. If Bryce is ready to go, he's going to go. And the rest of the factors, they all want Bryce to go. Andy included, while he would love to get out there and play. He's chomping at the bit. At this point in his career, he's like, any chance I get to get out there, whether it's finishing a game or going into a game, he's got a lot of gratitude, about the opportunity potentially. But we got to do what's best for Bryce first and foremost, and we'll go from there.
Even though guys in this league are obviously durable, and you'd like to most likely have Bryce back, how do you weigh that as you're making that decision? Because what's coming in is one of the top pass rushing defenses in the league. Is that something that you consider a lot more this week?
I kind of expect everybody's best, and we have to make the best decision for NFL football games, which every single game there's pro players on the other side when you're playing them. This is going to be about Bryce's health, and regardless of who's out there, if he's ready to go, we'll ask him to go out there and execute like he always does.
Should the Jets D-tackle been penalized on that sack of Bryce that injured him?
Live, it didn't look like it. As you replayed and replayed, he put his foot out there to get him down. That could constitute as a foul, but I just thought live, it looked like Bryce was just trying to get away, and they kind of tripped up on each other. So I didn't really see any malice that way. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it.
Been tripping would have been the call, right?
I think so.
I know things evolve on a week-to-week basis. Now that you had a week with both running backs back, how do you expect the game plan to maybe differ where it was last week, or stay similar to that?
Yeah, I like the fact that we went into the fourth quarter with two really physical and fresh backs. I love that. I love that for finishing games. I love that for how long a season is. When you have two guys that you really trust, you just play football with both of them, and they each kind of had a little bit more bounce to their step today, and that's what I want. I want both of those guys to be 100 miles an hour, empty the tank on every carry. That's the attitude that we got to have.
Would you like for them to alternate the series, but would you explore maybe changing that approach depending on what the defense is showing you on Sunday and how the game is flowing?
I want both guys to just keep rotating in and just giving me everything they have for the whole time.
Following up on the running backs, is there any concern with the rotation that they don't have time to gain a rhythm, gain momentum?
That's always a consideration. I think if you brought any back in here and asked them that question, they would love to just have the volume of carries to be able to build things up and set things up. I'm of the mind I want our runs to be full throttle every single time, and I think when you have the benefit and the opportunity for us to be able to throw two guys that run with the same type of energy, the same type of toughness and all that, then that's what you do.
Dave, we saw.
The Bills have been particularly vulnerable against the run. They're 31st in the league and against the run, 156 yards a game. I know it's always important to run football, but this week particularly with Josh Allen being over there, how important is it to establish that and kind of control the clock this week?
We're going to be balanced. We're going to try to play off of our tendencies. We're certainly going to run the ball in some fashion, and you got to be able to throw it too. To be able to flip the field, take advantage of explosives, which does allow you to do that and get field position and create first down. So we'll be balanced and we'll be multiple. And at the same time, if the run game's going really well, in the last couple of weeks when we've had some success with the run game, you can lean on that more at times. But I expect to see the Bills' best. They're coming off a bye week. I expect that every week. You're playing a team that has a bunch of veteran players out there. They play hard. They play together. The fact that their numbers have come out the way they have, I see a team that's playing tough and rallying to the ball and playing physical. So I expect that from them.
You mentioned the bye week. What are the kind of things as a coach you can work on when you've got that extra week to prepare for a season and within one game?
Yeah, you certainly have the physical recovery part of that, but there's also a mental recovery where you get to kind of step back and look at what's happened, what's transpired in these first 6 or 7 games, do self-scout, and see what concepts that you've been leaning on that may be working for you. Let's continue. So it's a start, stop, continue exercise, really, and things that you might have come into the season with thinking this is going to be a big part of what we do. If it's not having success, then you move on from some of those. It just allows you to evaluate, allows you to kind of take that step back and say, how can we improve our processes? How can we move our football forward?
How nice was it to see Damian Lewis back out practicing today after missing the game?
It was great. It was great to see him out there, get some individuals, pop in and out of the team periods and get some reps, and just gain the confidence he needs to feel good to be able to go on Sunday. So tomorrow, will be a more physical practice with the pads, all that, and we'll be able to expose him to some of that and see how he comes out of that one.
We also saw Robert Hunt out there working to the side.
Yeah.
This was his first time being on the field.
Yeah.
I know he's still on IR, but this was his first time being on the field, right?
Yeah.
How is that progress coming along?
Yeah, he's coming along. They say he's ahead of schedule. I think we get told that a lot, but our guys really push it. And I've noticed over the years, the guys that believe that they heal fast end up healing fast. And, that just puts you in a positive mindset to be able to get after your rehab, push the envelope and say, hey, we had this prescribed for you today. Can I do a little bit more? Is this good enough? Can we stop here? David Moore is another one who's really attacking his rehab, and both guys are really in there pushing each other. But it was good to have Rob on the grass, moving around, and they're working on all the range of motion stuff. So we'll see where we're at. I think its timeline is somewhere around the bye week, so that could be something down the road.
We'll
do a couple more. We'll do Cassidy, and then we'll do Phil.
DB.
We call it Tell the Truth Monday, because whether you win or lose, you got to look at the tape and look at the areas that we need to improve. You celebrate the things we did well. And what we try to do is show film of the practice and preparation showing up in the games. Then this just solidifies the process. This solidifies what it takes to find your best. And I just love that Derek is really connected to that part of it. Is like, regardless of what happens, guys, tomorrow we show up, we go right back to work. They have Tuesdays to recover their bodies, reconnect with their people, and then we're back on the field on Wednesday with our game plans and ready to go. And that's the mentality that you have to have. This is a long season, and you have to be able to show up again every single Monday, show up again every Wednesday, and capture the work ethic and go through the week that way. So I love that our leadership is focused that way. They certainly understand that we haven't seen our best football. We have not. We've seen glimpses of it. We've seen excellent play in areas, but there's so much more out there for us, and we should just continue to be trying to improve our processes all the way through the end of the season.
Derek, so much has been made of his play this season, but what has his return done for Ashawn, and what does Ashawn do for Derek as well?
Yeah, Derek just presents problems, whether he's on the front side of a run, the back side of a run. You saw the sack production last week, a couple of, pass breakups, at the line of scrimmage. Those are disheartening in ways, and it's just the way that he works every single down. When he's out there, and we get him out there, when we get him off the field when we can, but when he's on the field, he gives everything he has. Two of the most impressive plays of the day are, just sideline to sideline chases of the quarterbacks, forcing them to go out of bounds at 5 or 6 yards, minimizing explosive runs. That's the type of effort it requires for a full unit to play together and to find your best. He brings that out in the whole group.
I'm going to get Mike. He was waiting for a while. Go ahead, Mike.
Kind of dovetailing off of Steve's question about the offense and time of possession for you guys, flipping that, the Josh Allen-led offense, where does the danger lurk with them? Is it running backs, the receivers, the line? Where does it start for them, and what you guys try to take care of?
Yeah, I think a broader comment is just what a good football team this is, and a good football organization, starting with the head coach, Coach McDermott, someone I really respect. They play with a lot of discipline. They play with toughness. You can tell that they value those things in every phase, on offense, on defense, on special teams. It just shows up on tape. These are guys that want to do right, and they want to show up with energy, and they want to be physical. They want to have that be their identity. And so that part kind of matriculates throughout. And if you look at this offense, yes, it's all centered around Josh Allen. This is a really good running team, and they've had very productive run games pretty much consistently throughout the year. And they can attack you in different ways. He can attack you with his legs. They have a balanced run game, and they have a bunch of skill players that are dependable for him. They understand the scramble play, and they get open for them, they keep working, and they know that's a part of what they do. So there's a lot of challenges that they present, a lot of things that we have to be disciplined about, and staying connected to their receivers through the down. All right, thank you.